Hello, everybody. I wanted to talk to you real quick, and I promise I'm not going to be before you long, right? To talk about the Let's Be Reconciled brunch for moms and daughters. I want to clarify some things. The mom doesn't have to come, and the daughter doesn't have to come. You want to be reconciled, right? You want to find peace within yourself. Reconciliation brings about a healing and it brings about a closure, right? And so many times we don't know how to reconcile things. We don't know how to come together. We don't know how to come to a conclusion. And so the reason for this banquet is for us to come together and bring peace and make peace. We're not going to just be reconciled with each other, but you're also going to be reconciled with God. Because if you cannot love your mama, your daughter, your cousin, that person right next to you, how can you say that you love God? And so we're going to focus on building and healing and restoration, right? Those things that are so important because nobody can do this but the Lord, right? Nobody can do these things but God. And a lot of times the inner us is still hurting. Your mother says something to you and you feel some type of way, or your daughter says something to you and she do something and you feel some type of way. That's because you are not healed. You are still hurting. You're still holding on to things that you need to let go. And for a lot of us, it's the inner child, right? A lot of things happen to us, the trauma, the things that we went through as a child, and we're still holding on to those things. Those things still have control over us. Those things still control how we react, respond, and we reply. And we must reconcile. Right? Many of us claim to be believers, but we don't want to reconcile with those that have caused us injury, or those that have done damage to us, or those that have hurt us, and those that were close to us, that loved us, like our moms or our grandmothers or our aunties or our sisters or our cousins. And we don't know how to be reconciled. We don't know how to heal wholeheartedly. We don't even know what that looks like. That's the purpose of this brunch. Y'all know me. We're going to eat because I like to eat, but we're also going to heal intentionally. It's time for us to stop allowing our past to dictate how we move in the future, how we move in the present, right? And so with that being said, I want us all to come out. I want us to come. Of course, we're going to have vendors and of course we're going to have food, but I want you guys to come out and be healed, right? And be restored, and then establish that thing that you may not have already had. And some of you may say, well, my mom's passed or my daughter's passed or this, that, and the third, or they're not going to come. Well, you come. Right? Because if your mom is passed but you need to reconcile with yourself. You need to reconcile. You need to put that thing to rest. And it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen over one session. But what I can tell you is that once you start the process, that you will grow intentionally, that you'll be able to move forward intentionally, and healing feels better. Some of you are holding on to grudges because you felt like your mama held you in bondage or your daughter disrespected you, these things. But I'm telling you that you need to be reconciled, right? Like, how do you do that, Tisha? What does that look like? Listen, I didn't heal or become reconciled with the people. Again, I've been raped, I've been molested, I've been violated. And baby, I had to come to reconciliation. I had to forgive me in order to forgive them, right? I had to learn that there were things that were completely out of my control, but I could no longer allow that person that was not even in my presence to control and dictate how I operated, how I moved, how I saw things, how I heard things. We don't realize the control we give people when trauma is introduced in our life because of those people. So because of what had happened to me, because of the violations, because of the rape, because of the sexual assault, because of the molestation, these people were controlling me. And I didn't even realize it. I didn't realize it until I was in my 30s, had a whole husband and 3 sons, and the person dies, and I'm crying, and I'm so confused. And then God gives me the question of, who's your puppet master? And I begin to realize I did so many things because of the trauma and the torment that I went through because of them, and that I had to forgive myself and I had to forgive them. And some of you got to be in a place that the person may never apologize. The men that did to me what they did, they never apologize. They can't. They're dead. But I'm still here. And a lot of us look at the younger us and the things that we went through in our childhood. And our mama one day and we had to do this. Get your life. The younger you was a strong soldier. She survived so that you could live. Not in bondage and not holding her in captivity. You got to let her go. And that's what we're going to do on January 3rd. We're letting go of the hurt. We're letting go of the pain. Some of you are passing down things from generation to generation. You have generational cycles because nobody has taught you how to go to the root of the issue, right? If you only deal with what's up here that you can see, You're going to always be at a standstill because you're assuming growth means that it's good. But oh, it's the stuff underneath that's entangled, those generational cycles, the things that was passed on from your mama's mama and her mama and her mama. Never talked about it. Nobody knows how to communicate. Everybody want to be heard, but ain't nobody really saying nothing and stopping and listening to what's coming out of here. Because it's hard to communicate when hurt is there. It's hard to communicate when anger is there. And so it's time for us to be reconciled. Because I think in that reconciliation, then we will be able to be reconciled with the Father, right? And then we'll have the ministries of reconciliation. That's what the word says, right? And so you want to come back and you want to come together. But we got to start where it started, right? And your mama may not be here. Her mama's mama may not be here. And the person may not even want to come, but you should come because healing is for everybody. Restoration is for everybody, right? You want to be made whole. You don't want to just be encouraged. I always tell people that anybody and anything can encourage you, but not everyone is equipped to empower you. You want to come and get the tools and the resources that you need so you can move forward like you need to move forward, so that way you can go through life empowered, right? And in order for you to be reconciled, in order for you to be free and healed, there are 4 pillars of mindset you got to go through. You got to acknowledge it. Some of you be like, oh, I ain't mad. She do what she do. I ain't upset. But your attitude change every time you see her, every time you hear that person's voice. You are not healed, and they control you. If they didn't even say nothing to you and you ready to go, they control you. That thing still hurt. That little girl inside of you, she telling you, I'm not free and I'm not healed. And you keep holding on to her. Let her go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to let her go. The injury, the trauma, the things that come with it. Some of us, there are things that many of you have experienced. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like for my mother to say something to me reckless. I have no idea what that feels like. But I come in contact with so many women who are on the outside very successful, but on the inside are still that little girl. They still go to that place. They don't know how to come out of it. They don't know how to be free from it. They don't know how, because again, manipulation works both ways. So there are some mothers that work in manipulation as well as some daughters. But let's come together and be free. Why? Because you want to heal, you want to grow, you want to move forward in 2026, and you can't because you have not forgiven your mama or your grandma or your auntie or your cousin and them or yourself. And what you're not going to tell me is if you're angry with somebody, you're not going to sit and tell me that you have this unconditional love for God, because the word of God says, how can you love me who you never seen? And bro, you ain't even forgave your mama, your grandma, your auntie, your cousin. And so you want it to be everybody else's fault. But because you are an adult, it's on you. How long will you allow your past to control and dictate your future? How long will you allow your past to control and dictate your destiny? It's time for us to let it go. It's time for us to grow. And I want you to bring your young daughters out too, because some of you are starting to feel that friction, right? With your 10-year-olds and your 11s and 12s and 13, and Lord, when they get 16, you're starting to feel that thing. It's time to intentionally destroy the generational cycle of dysfunction from the women in the family, right? We want to be leaders and we want to be moving forward, and you want to go to church. Let me say, you go to church all day, rest of the day. If anger and hatred is in you and you ain't got delivered, it's coming out in everything that you do. And then that's why your kids, if you're an evangelist or a prophetess or whatever, and you up there preaching and saying all this stuff and your kids not listening because they know who you are at home, because they see the injured you. They see the wounded you. They hear the injured you. They hear the wounded you. And a lot of times we don't want to acknowledge that that's our truth. And so what I'm saying is, come out January 3rd. Let's start the year off right. Let's be reconciled. Let's bring healing and restoration. Let's restore that thing that, oh my God, that we thought could never be restored. And this is the thing. Don't listen. I cannot change what happened to me when I was 3 years old. None of us can do that. We can only move forward. I had to free the younger me. And sometimes I have to remind myself that she's not there, because the younger you is the one that have you respond and reacting and replying that way. And I'm going to tell you how you know you're not healed. The minute you say this, I knew you was going to do it. I would just wait on you to do it. Yeah, you still in there. You still in that situation. And we would be upset if God did us that way. If God said, I was waiting on you to mess up again, that means he never forgave us in the first place. If he's looking at us like he waiting on us to mess up again, I knew you was gonna say it. I knew that's what you was gonna do. Well, wait. Then you have not forgiven that person. And I'm telling you, it's not gonna be easy. So whoever get on here and tell you that it's easy is a liar, and the truth does not abide in them. This is a process. This is work. I had in my mind, I have forgiven my violators. Like I said, some of this stuff, like with the moms and stuff, I don't know that, but I know what it's like to have to forgive my grandmama, because she said some stuff that was reckless, right? And y'all know me, I love my grandma, but baby, when we was coming up, oh my God, she would just say things. And then when she got older, she had to come live with me and my husband. I had to forgive her, because there's no way I'm gonna say I love the Lord and I love encouraging other people and I love empowering other people and I can't love on my grandma. And then when I start to love her where she was at, and she began to expose to me the things that she had went through as a child, it made her make sense to me. Then I understood. And then I realized, you know what? We can't keep this cycle going in the family. We can't keep this. We can't be reckless with our mouth. The word of God tells us that the tongue is so untamely that once it's said, you cannot take it back. It's done. But what happens is I remember the things that my grandmother told me, but they don't sting anymore. I'm not living there. Why? Because we reconciled. Before she left this earth, we reconciled. Before she got away and couldn't really remember certain things, we had reconciled. And that was the freedom. But then there are certain one of you may not get that opportunity. Your loved one may have already passed on. Then you got to reconcile this thing between you and God, and you got to forgive them anyhow. And you got to mean it. And if that means every time you going through it, you starting to tear up and you crying the less and less that you cry about a thing, then I'm telling you, the more and more you are healed from that thing. The more and more that thing no longer hurts, the more and more you're able to move forward. It's not an easy task, y'all. It's not easy, but it's worth it, and it's work. And the only person that can do the work is you. The only person that's going to be able to do the work is you. Nobody else can do the work for you. Nobody else can do the work. We can walk with you through it. But what we cannot do is we cannot do it for you. So I want you guys to come out. I want you to share the event. It's again, Let's Be Reconciled. I had someone message me, and it was a weird message. And that's why I want you guys to know that even if your parent or the person that you feel like you need to be reconciled with has passed on, still come, because you need the tools on how to heal. Because ain't nothing like somebody controlling you from the grave. And if you still angry with that person and you still mad, they still got you. And that's what God had to tell me when when my rapist had died and I got the phone call that he was dead, and I'm on the phone crying. God asked me, who's your puppet master? And will you allow him to control you from the grave? Baby, I started cutting them strings, right? And it was a process. I had to heal. I had to acknowledge that I was hurt. I had to accept that it was me at that moment in my life when I was a child, that I was the victim, that it was nothing that I could have done differently. I also had to forgive myself. Then I had to embrace the pain that came with it, because I never cried about it. I didn't cry about it until I became an adult. That day that he died, that's when I cried about it. It was like, then I was mad for crying. But I had to come in agreements with that, this was me, and I had to let that little girl go because of the seeds that had been sown, because of the things that I had been conditioned to, that I moved a certain way and I thought a certain way and I spoke a certain way. And I want you guys to come out. Well, it ain't no flash, nothing. But what I'm going to give to you is I'm going to give you the word. I'm going to give you tools that you need. And it's only $15, y'all. And it's going to be catered. Y'all know me. J&T Smokehouse going to be in the house, and they're going to be catering. So you getting all you can eat brunch for $15. Don't play with me. Just come on out and don't wait till the last minute, because that's what happens. Yes, I want vendors. Again, this is a truly God event. Don't come to me with no other kind of stuff. I'm not into it. I'm telling you, no, don't ask me. I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm not into the crystals. I'm not into the sound bowls. Now you can do your purses, your oils, like natural oils, things like that. I'm all that kind of stuff. Anything that's going to empower books, authors, stuff like that. Of course, I need to know what kind of book it is, because I'm adamant that there's going to be one sound, and it's all going to be about him. There won't be no confusion. right? And we're going to have different speakers that are going to come in, but we're going to heal. It's going to be the process of healing. So I want you guys to come out, bring somebody, bring your cousins, whoever, your aunties, your grandmas, bring your daughters. Don't think that they're too young to come. If they're like at 10 and up, bring them, because you already know the friction is starting. It starts early. For those of you that have all vendors, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I appreciate vision. Again, that's January the 6th, be it the Lord's will, at 11 a.m. at the Eustis Community Center, I want to say. The address is on the flyer, you guys. Come out. Don't forget to reserve your seats. Again, this is a time you do not want to miss. This is a time of healing. It's like you coming to the ER and you're going to get what you need. So I love you guys. You guys make it a great day. And remember to don't just be encouraged, but be empowered. Talk to you guys.